Hi, it's Christine with Moonshine Safari and
Anthony with Moonshine Safari.
Woo!
Yeehaw.
So, just as a reminder, we have spoilers for both Outlander, the books and the shows. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, you should not listen, but you do want to be spoiled, so you should listen.
Get spoiled.
Get spoiled. We are on the first book still. I mean, it's kind of a long series. So, we're on Outlander. We are up to chapter 19. Actually, it's a really quick chapter. It's called The Water Horse. It's kind of cool. So just as a quick reminder, the last chapter was all about Claire's first raid. She was part of a cattle raid. They weren't the raiding party. They were the raided parties. I don't know if that's the way you say it.
They were the raidees.
They were the raidees.
Not the
correct.
raiders.
She was taught how to defend herself with a knife. So she's like the novice knife wielder of the group, but she has been taught to sort of defend herself a little bit.
Pointy end goes in
end goes in the other guy. They even set up a whole like dummy with boards in it and stuff to mimic bones to make it to where she really learned.
She's a surgeon. She should know.
She wasn't yet. Spoiler. She wasn't yet. She was a nurse though.
Okay.
She should still know.
Okay. As a nurse, she should still know
anatomy.
Well, of course.
Correct.
She would know exactly where the most.
That's what makes sense.
Exactly.
Correct. I mean, but some techniques she would need to know because fighting is different than someone laying on a table and you're cutting into them. I would think.
True.
Anyway. Oh, well. So
but
anyway,
the general vicinity where to go.
Correct. So she's learned all that, and now this is just kind of a little interlude. This does not appear in the shows at all.
Sad.
Which I think is a little sad, actually. I think it's kind of a cool little addition.
It is.
So it's called The Water Horse. So before, when they were traveling, they were having stories, a lot of lore and stuff like that from the men that are traveling with them, and they like to tell their stories of the superstitions and stuff like that. And one of them was the water horse. So this time, she is deciding they're camping on the banks of Loch Ness. Okay, so there is a term that they never ever use, and they never actually say the words Loch Ness monster. They never say that phrase, but that's what this is. But she's calling it the water horse for fun. It's pretty cool, actually.
Well, it could be too, because I did some research. There is a water horse that's called that they also associate with what's called a kelpie, which is
they do talk about kelpies.
Kelpies too, yeah. It's like a shape-shifting kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Harry Potter thing too.
Oh yeah,
I'm
for
a real
real.
Harry Potter freak. So just FYI. So sounds like, or maybe something similar. That's funny. So she decides they're camping on the bank of Loch Ness, and she's been there. It was funny. She went to Loch Ness with Frank, who in 1945.
Frank who?
Right, and they took the tour. Like the boat tour and all that stuff. So now she's back in the past. It's like I have to think about it. At Loch Ness, and they're camping, and she decides she wants to wash up and stuff like that because they've been traveling so much. And she's not in too much of a hurry, and she's kind of enjoying herself. And suddenly she notices some ripples in the water, and she says she sees a flathead break the surface. Right. So she talks about the smell of Loch Ness, and I don't think we've mentioned this before, but Claire is always talking about what something or someone smells like.
I think we mentioned it. She can smell
Constantly.
people from feet away.
Yeah, it's crazy, and just everything brings up smell to her. And I do think there are people that are more keen
something
like that.
About smell,
or maybe she's got a really keen sense of smell. I don't know, some people do. So it's funny that would be a thing, but it's a thing for Claire. As a matter of fact, in one of the books, I think Jamie actually mentions you could always smell anything because she does. She smells. It's always the author is always referencing the smells.
Yep.
So she, like I said, she never says the words Loch Ness monster, but she does mention that it's a creature out of its own time. Right. So she feels a little bit of a kinship to it. And she says it looks nothing like the museum exhibit she saw at the British Museum in her own time either. And she says as it sank back into the water, she kind of says goodbye. And as she's turning around, she notices that one of the men that's traveling with them is standing there in obvious shock, looking at her talk to this thing who's, the thing's not talking back to her or anything. But from the book, the impression is that he might think that she's got some control over it because they all kind of think she might be a little bit witchy. So he actually throws himself at her feet and says, have mercy on me or whatever. And it's actually pretty funny in the books because she's like, just Get up. Are you crazy? It was, and she calls it a wee monster.
A wee monster.
A wee monster. She said, it's just a wee monster. What are you worried about?
Uh,
She goes back to the camp. She doesn't bring it up because she doesn't want them all looking at her weird. And he doesn't want to bring it up because he's scared. So that's how the chapter ends. It's
well, I was wondering. I was looking because she said that nothing like she saw in the
museum.
And so I looked it up to see if there was anything. I couldn't find anything. If any of you can find anything out there on the internet about an old museum exhibit for what they think maybe is the Loch Ness Monster, send it to us.
It's pretty fun. Well, I mean, because we know the sightings went back that far. Far enough.
Oh, way earlier than that.
Yeah, so
way earlier than that.
It's pretty funny. So yeah. Anyway, she says it's out of its own time, but that's really how the chapter ends. Nessie. So next week, I think we're still going to get one more chapter before we do an episode. So I think we'll be up to chapter 20. And keep listening, keep sharing if you can, and also check out MoonshineSafari.com for some other stuff we have. By the way, we have special stuff on cryptids anyway. So
yep, and I just didn't get my timing right on this because we just dropped Mothman on the Cryptid Cup and the Cryptid T-shirt over there at Cryptid Club on MoonshineSafari.com. But Mothman will be the next one, so look forward to that probably next month in August.
And also, Anthony's been able to interview some cryptids.
I have. Check out our interviews with
Dogman
and the past one with Sasquatch. We'll have some more with Sasquatch and some coming up with Mothman as well.
So cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, like I said, check it out if you have any questions. Also, check out MoonshineSafari.com for all the past episodes in case you're interested.
Yeah.
Follow along. All right. Thanks. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.